Dr. Ricardo Oliva is a senior scientist at the International Rice Research Institute, or IRRI, in Los Banos, the Philippines. He is the cluster leader responsible for 30+ staff, including scientists, postdocs, national staff, and scholars. He has over 10 years of research and development experience in staple crops in Asia, Africa, and Latin America. He is the recipient of research funding from key donors such as the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, the Biotechnology and Biological Sciences Research Council, BBSRC, and the United States Agency for International Development, USAID, among many others. He has coordinated scientific networks, including public and private enterprises. He has a strong publication record, developed online tools, as well as several patent applications. He has published in journals, including Nature Biotechnology, PNAS, Frontiers in Plant Sciences, the Plant Cell, Molecular Plant Microbe Interactions, Crop Research, Frontiers in Microbiology, the Plant Pathology, the Plant Journal, just to name a few. He has also published many book chapters and other publications. He has always been engaged in collaborative research with renowned research institutes from all around the world. We are honored to have him with us today.
Shoma, would you like to interview Dr.
I'd be honored to. Okay, yes. So we are now moving ahead to the interview section of today's webinar. Today is our 24th webinar of the series, and we are honored to have Dr. Ricardo Oliva with us today. Hello, and it was a beautiful, very informative and very well explained presentation. We got many appreciation in our YouTube chat, and many people have said very kind words about your talk. So for all of them and all of the people who will also watch later, we want to know more about you as a plant scientist. So you have quite a successful career, and we would love to know how you built your career. And could you please tell us about your journey so far as a plant scientist?
Yeah. Okay, I guess always is, I'm not saying that it's luck, but yeah, you are not thinking about that often, about how to build your career. I don't know, people do, but in my case, I am not such a planner. But two things that I take seriously and I recommend everyone is just to get a good supervisor, a good mentor. That's such a help, and there's some books about how to select a mentor, right? Because some people, some supervisors or mentors want you to work hard, right? There's one way, but the others want you to grow. So I definitely select the ones that you think, or they want people to grow. That's the key thing. I mean, in my case, I have such good luck with mentors. I didn't do my homework, never investigate any of them, but just by luck, I got in the hands of people that are just such nice human beings, and that growing thing was just probably what kind of helped me a lot. That's one. And the second one, the second kind of not rule, but the second one, even though it sounds a little bit cheesy, maybe it's just you need to do what you want, right? The thing that you really like, because so many of us, we know what we want, but we are or too scared or too, so people know what they want, but they are a little bit scared of taking that decision. Just go ahead. That's the only thing that I can say. So the mentor is definitely one, and the other thing is just the motivation.
Lovely. You have so many fellowships and awards. What is the driving force for your dynamic nature?
Oh my gosh. I mean, I don't have so many fellowships and awards. first, but the ones that I have are a little bit diverse. I would say I see the diversity there, and it's because I try to interact with people that also like questions, people that are motivated. So, and then you can find that in several areas, right? For instance, we are collaborating with people that is doing mathematics,
Right.
and they are doing pathogen things on mathematics, and that people are super motivated, and I like to have that diversity. People doing biotech, we also want to interact with them, and we develop grants and proposals to that. So it's a little bit of looking for people that also have their own motivations, but that the question is diverse enough that get your interest. So I would say diversity is the key factor for me, at least.
Collaboration.
Yeah, collaboration in different topics. Yeah.
Right. You have published your research work in high impact journals, and you are also the reviewer of many renowned journals. Could you please give some advice to advice on the factors that we should keep in mind while approaching or submitting manuscripts in such journals?
Okay, so rules there for me, open access, right? That would be like the publishing industry has been a little bit, for me, a little bit corrupt in the essence of publications, in which is not about your work, but about how much you can pay to get published, right? So there's a level of injustice there. So I think that, but in general, open access, the concept of open access, we need to follow as a community, and then the next generation, we are the next generation, we need to push for that. Then for publishing, I always follow these. There's many presentations about that is called books publish or perish, and I recommend one presentation from Sophie Camun from the Sciencebury Lab on how to publish, step by step. It's really interesting how this can be so easy from his perspective. So he's a very good communicator, and I think that this publication or this video is in the YouTube is very good for any student, any professor, anybody that wants to publish. It's just fantastic, and I always recommend that. And yeah, the publication is always like how do you say this? The publication is always, to publish in good journal is just a motivation, right? That's, you need to really believe what you have and communicate that to the editors, to the reviewers, and try to disseminate this beforehand. I always use preprints. It's very effective now, the preprints. Any platform that is out there, so you can just put that information out there, and then usually the comments that you get are very good, and that will help you to move to the official journal.
All right. So what is your point of view on the food security and nutritional security?
Food security. Oh my gosh, you are taking big questions.
Very important ones, actually.
Yeah. Okay, so that's also a motivation, right? Food security is on the line, I would say. Although I heard some people saying, we are throwing our food, and we just need to distribute food around, and that will solve the hunger and
minimize wastage.
Yeah, which is good. We should definitely do that. However, we are not quite there. I mean, the supply is so vulnerable that we can see right now in COVID situation, right? That just small breaks in the chain
yes
will create a big problem in the value chain, and at the end of the day in the consumer and the producer and farmers and so on. So I think we are not quite there, and the key thing is investing in agriculture, right? So from 2008 to 2012 or a little bit early, there's a big investment, and since 2015 and so on, there's reduced. That's my perception. I haven't seen data, but that's what the people complain, that the investment in agriculture is being a little bit neglected. I think from the government side, the investment in agriculture will be important.
Right.
And yeah, you said nutrition, right?
Yes, nutrition.
Yeah, that's another big thing. Coming from rice, you know, many of these crops are carbohydrates, right? It's source of sugars, basically. And I think this can be a complementary food. Definitely, we need to diversify the diet. That will be key. There's a lot of effort to biofortify our crops. You know, cassava, rice, wheat, and potato, and so on. They are how to say, this is valid and is legitimate, and we definitely support. But in the long run, the food supply and the diet should be more diverse, and so to get nutrients from a diverse set of crops. I think that's the key.
All right.
The long run.
So according to you, which sectors of plant science research is likely to prosper in the near future?
Okay, probably I am biased a little bit, but I think microbiome and phytobiome areas are key in the next future. Understanding how the plant, the environment, the soil interact together. This concept of food webs, right? So how the carbon cycle, the animal affect the plant. I think this type of research will be key if we want to move to environments that are a little bit tricky in the future. Because the rest, you know, adaptation to stress and so on, definitely we are good on that as a community of scientists, agriculture. We are going a good direction, but in the future we need to add that extra level of complexity, which is the microbial part of, particularly in the soil or anything that have to do with the plant. That's one. Of course, the second, I would say, again, I'm super biased. Probably biotech continue to be one of the important key to develop. And I'm not saying about technically. I'm saying about, yes, technically, yes, but the challenge is also as a communication, how we become better communicators about the benefits of science in the biotech, right? We can see now a lot of pushbacks from sectors that do not accept GMO, for instance, or do not accept genome editing, even though there's building evidence of the economic value for farmers, not even for companies, or that narrative is just going south, I would say. So the technology is there, and there's a lot of room to do in the technology, but also on the communication side, from our side, right?
Right, so true, yes. All right.
And the last part, wait, that I also like, and I think how we grow plants in environments that are not used to that, you know, urban agriculture, for instance. I think that adaptation should be possible in the future and should be necessary actually to kind of take out much of the burden that is now the forest and deforestation and so on. So I need to bring the agriculture to the cities to kind of help the life that's also needed. So a lot of research needs to be done before.
Yes, you know, in small places more food can grow. All right, so with the final question, and we can conclude our very, very lovely and, you know, wonderful session with you. So the final question is that what would your words of advice be to the new or the younger research fellows out there?
Advice to young scientists. You know, I guess what I see in general is that people start in science and then later quit, and it's just the motivation. How to maintain your motivation, that's very important, because the pathway is not easy.
So true.
You know, a lot of challenges, a lot of issues, not different to other areas, but yeah, it's a lot of challenges, definitely. So the motivation is key to keep you going. So definitely you need to select things. If you want to be here in science, you need to select things that you like. That's kind of the key aspect. Otherwise, just doesn't make sense.
All right. It was wonderful to hear from you, and I'm sure all our viewers had a wonderful time. And okay.